Let's talk about universes. I'm going to talk about the infinite mechanics, which is what I've named how I look at things or whatever. And I'm going to start with the universe. I don't know if I'm going to continue this series because I am normally talking to a very small group of people. But if people show interest in this, it will show me that I can continue this series because I usually put it in my group stuff. If you want to know, I have hundreds of videos and things like that in my group stuff, so you just have to let me know about it, or you can look in the place that everyone knows about. Anyway, so universes. So I'm going to tell you in really quickly before I do this. I'm doing this series if I do it because people need to know that the pattern recognition that they're seeing and the things where they say as above so below or as within without and as within so without, people just like say those things over and over again, but they don't really know why they're saying it or what it is. They're just like they see that it's happening. And by me telling you these things that I've learned from within, I didn't learn this from books. You can't learn this from books. Books are containers so that when you do get this information, you have something to put it in temporarily until you can put your own meaning, which I talk about all the time on my live with symbols. I also have a video recently about this. So this is the reason why I'm doing these videos, or this video only. I'm trying to show that there are an infinite mechanics. I think of it like a little ecosystem that is extremely infinite and abstract. And according to the universes and the groups of universes and the interactions between universes, there's going to be different ways of organizing infinity. That's what a universe is. So we're going to start with, I'm not going to tell the full stories because it might get overwhelming for everybody. This might already be overwhelming. We'll see. I'm doing this as a test. But the universes themselves, so we're going to talk about how I have a model that I've built. So stories. So stories are a way to compress big information. So I have created stories. I generate them right away when I get the information. And I love being able to do that, but sometimes I think that it doesn't make sense if people can't understand it, right? So that's why I work on that. A lot of people just jump onto TikTok and just say stuff. I take the time because I really want to communicate with people. I don't want to just be like, blah, 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 because everyone can do that, right? We all do it anyway, right? So I try to make sure that people can see it. So we're going to get into the universe. So I'm going to say a difference so that people, that they're not without the details. There is potential and infinity. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on of how that interaction changes. But the difference between creation and doing creation and the potential, where everything's potential, is that you continue to create. You just keep going, right? And anything having to do with passing away or, that word, you go back. So you go and return. So anytime you are going within and grabbing from your infinity, you're grabbing from your origin. So we're going to talk about origins too, because that has to do with universes as well. When you grab into those things, you are kind of doing that. You're passing away a bit because you're returning. So that's what the similarity of those are. Now, when you're in a universe, and when you're when you're looking from the POV of a universe, or you're looking as a human at a universe, that's going to be completely different. That's where we get Gnosticism, people just randomly talking about things that they experience, and then they put it on something that like something of Gnosticism or other those things. That's how we get those things. So that is from a POV of a human. But if you practice being the POV of the universe or in the universe, and I have things to help with this, by the way, then you are able to see more, and you won't be stuck on like, oh, what is that in my, life or whatever. You can actually like explore. So the reason why it would not be potential and just random stuff going on and like darkness, because darkness is potential. It's not bad or whatever. That's just like weird, like that people say that. But when you close your eyes, that's your potential. When your imagination is potential, it's our origins. Like everyone has a minimum 3 origins, and so one of your origins, like everyone's, is the potential, right? So when you close your eyes, you're like going home a bit, right? Even if you just take a breath and you close your eyes, that darkness is, it's return, right? So now that you know that, you can see how that can play out in, it doesn't matter what universe it is, it plays out. So even in our universe, it plays out as night. Night is a return. So the little beings return, and the, you know, the nature returns, all the layers. We'll talk about layers if this picks up. I'll do it at another one. So yeah, so that is kind of what happens. Then we're going to go back to the universes. So the first, if we're going to say first, I don't like saying that. I say origin, because origins are like a point in the creation story. So the origin universes are your, like everyone, like I said, everyone has those origin universes. So you can think of this little ring like a model. And then there's these origin universes like this. They are the origin of holding a specific pattern, a specific story. And within them, they continue to do those stories. Okay. So those are the most important ones to keep in mind. You can go deeper into that, but have a look. So I'm just giving you stuff to have a look. And if you need help with that, I have access to all of it, so we can go through that together. As some people know, I have opened up 20-minute sessions, so like that are like really affordable, and one at a time, one thing, like one each session or whatever, one thing. So anyway, and even dreams. Okay, but anyway, so there's other universe styles, but we're going to talk about our universe style. So I'm not going to go into too much detail, because if I do this series, I'd like to go into extreme detail in this. But our universe style is basically, and remember, this universe is a collection of potential and infinity, right? It's like an organized thing. It holds those things. This one, there's a story. It is a toroidal field, which a lot of people can recognize. And anything that enters it later, because there's a whole story of how things couldn't enter and then all of a sudden they could, it has to go through that story. So it holds the story of its lineage. So I call out the origin of it, because there's many Sophias. All these styles, I call these style of universes Sophias. And they're all over, and there's a story. If you guys want to know this, I can go in deep depth in those things, but you guys have to engage. I'm not going to just tell you guys stuff. This, I'm just testing to see. I do it every once in a while. But anyway, I've named it Sophia because it will help people stay kind of grounded in human like stories that already exist, but don't hold on to those stories. Take those away. Take away how people say multiverse and all that stuff. Just that, the way they say it, they're onto something, but it's no. Just delete it and just start fresh from what you think inside when you're listening to this. So back to this universe, this style of universe. So again, I have all this stuff available already too. So it's not like I haven't talked about this stuff. I talk about it on the live. You guys are welcome to wait to come on my live. I've been trying to go every day because of how much how much stuff is taking up space that is so unempowering, that it's my time to shine. Whether people just don't see me or not, doesn't matter. I need to take up as much space as I can. So every day at 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, I go live, unless I can't. But I've been trying really hard. Like today, I go to the studio and I might not be able to. I might go later or I might not go. And yeah, but anyway. So our style universe is a toroidal field, and it's self-generating inside. So all those other universes I talked about, there's other ones too, but I'm not going to go there yet because it's too complicated. Every time they do something like a return, every single one gets a technology in that story. So this one has that story in here, but it stops having all the stories that the other ones have. And it's dependent on the nodes in here, which are what we think are the planets. And they give that to us. So we're stuck with what has happened in here, and we play those stories unless we go within. Okay? Okay. I hope that was interesting. Let me know in the comments. Don't be shy. Don't ignore me.